Good day. My name is Charlie Swift, and I'm the director of the Constitutional Law Center for Muslims in America. We understand that a lot of the community is particularly concerned about the events that have been going on in the border and family separations. There's a lot of myths about how we got here and what's going on. And so what I'm going to try and do is give you the facts from a legal perspective so that you can understand what you're seeing and why it's happening. All of this goes back to a Supreme Court case called Flores versus Reno. The Supreme Court, in a 7-2 decision, found that there was not a particular substantive due process right preventing detention of immigrant children, or that the substance was sufficient with two of the concurring justices. That led to a case then on whether the procedures that they were using and the conditions were sufficient, and that led to what was called now the Flores Settlement Agreement, which was arrived to during the Clinton presidency. The Flores Settlement Agreement required immigration to seek the best interest of children during any detention period. That would mean to release them to a family member or to others in the community, and if they couldn't release them for some reason, to put them in appropriate care levels. The issues of children in detention have been around for quite some time. They actually started in the 80s during Reagan, and Meese, as the Attorney General, ultimately were decided during Clinton in the Flores, which was in the 90s, that children could be detained, and then the subsequent settle agreement that turned out the conditions on which they could be detained and what rights they would have. Now, it still wasn't a big problem. Why wasn't it a big problem? Because most children who came with families, their family members were eligible for release. So the easy part was if we could have a parole system where they could be released, we released the entire family. What changed? Well, what changed was the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, decided that he would prosecute everyone for illegal entry who entered the country, regardless of whether they had a valid asylum claim, regardless of whether they had any prior prosecutions, regardless of whether they were coming with children. This was a deliberate decision. The crisis that occurred here did not occur because of a Supreme Court decision. It did not occur because of the Flores Doctrine. It did not occur because immigration's hands were tied. It occurred because the administration wanted it to happen. Now the next question is, has the executive order issued by the president fixed everything? Well, actually, if you read it, no. What it has done is halt that immediate separation of the family that was based on the anticipation that under Flores we're going to have to release the child after 20 days. We won't do that immediately. It's also directed them to go back and again challenge in the district court and up to the circuit court the Flores court's decisions that actually protect children so that they can impose greater punishments or greater punitive detention on children. Understand that. That's what they're seeking. It's an ongoing battle. It's a battle that's been fought over the years by each immigrant group. And ultimately, every immigrant group has prevailed. That's the beauty of the American legal system. That's the beauty of America. In the face of this, what can we do? I highly encourage you to support any organization like CLCMA and others that do asylum work. The next part is to stay informed and understand what's going on in the part, and to continue to exercise one of your most important rights, and that's to let your congressman or senator know how you feel about these issues. They're your representatives in this process. Make your voice heard. Make your voice heard now through calls. Let them know that you're still watching, that you don't think that the EO has solved anything, and you'll be watching closely to make sure that families are taken care of. And remember, in the fall, who was on the side of children and who wasn't. Exercise your rights as a citizen or as a resident in the United States to a voice, because when these children are separated, it's not the president, it's not the Attorney General, it's us. We're the United States. I hope that you will continue to support the Muslim Legal Fund of America, both by viewing its contents and, if you feel so appropriate, to continue to fund them, because without their funding, our work doesn't exist. If you believe that you have an issue that CLCMA can help you with, please don't hesitate to visit our website, clcma.org, to request our assistance. Thank you very much.